Hey everybody, this is Tony Upper Class Eagles. I hope you're having a great day. What I want to talk about is the difference between a bad habit and mistakes that players make on the field. Um, as coaches, throughout training and in games, we will correct mistakes when we see them, and our goal with that is to help prevent players from developing bad habits over time. If we let mistakes go and we don't help players make those adjustments, mistakes turn into bad habits. But sometimes when we get players, they already have bad habits, and we are coaching them as if they're mistakes, and that's a mistake, and maybe it's considered a habit as well that coaches have. So when you're working with a player, and after the first time you ask them to do something or change something, they don't do it, and you talk to them again, they still don't do it. You bring them in, you ask them questions, they understand what you're asking them to do, but they're still, not making the correction you're asking for. Sometimes you're not correcting a mistake anymore. That means they have a habit. It's something that's more ingrained. It's something that's going to take more time than just a couple corrections to fix. Just to give you an example of other bad habits you might have in your life. If you're a smoker and someone say no, stop, please stop smoking, that usually doesn't do it. It's usually a long process, and it takes time and patience to correct and change that habit into a good habit. So for players on the field, it's the same thing. If you can think about young players who, use their toe to strike the ball, and as coaches where we get frustrated when after a couple times of saying, don't use your toe, here's the inside of the foot, use the laces, we show them, they're still using their toe. And the reason is it's a habit. They have success using their toe in games. They can kick the ball harder. They score goals that way. So, over time, it's reinforced a habit that we know as being, bad for the player, but at the same time, the player's having success. So it's hard for them to make that transition to use a different part of the foot where it's harder, they have less success. So as we're trying to correct these things, we have to know that it's not going to happen after a single session, or a single week, or, it's going to take the course of the season. And what's important is when we're trying to adjust habits is that we have to not just tell a player not to do something, but we have to, through training and the way we develop activities, show the benefits of doing either a skill or something tactically in the way we're asking them to do it. As players over time see the benefits of making that correction, they'll replace a bad habit with a good habit, over time. And that's something that takes patience on the coach's part. I think sometimes our fuses are too short, and after a couple times of asking a player to make a correction, they don't. We just feel that they're being stubborn or not listening or uncoachable, which is a term I can't stand and should never be used with players. It's really just something. It's a case of them having a habit that's going to take a lot more time, creativity, coaching, expertise on our part to help them through that bad habit and make it a good habit.